Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today, let's take a look at the 2026 Honda Civic. This is the Hybrid Sport Touring. Huge shout out to Flo Honda Statesville for providing the sedan for me today. Take a look at their website. That link is down in the description. This Honda Civic is finished off in urban gray, and the MSRP is just shy of $34,000. Now this hybrid is powered by the 2-liter inline 4-cylinder. It's also paired to the 2-motor hybrid system along with the eCVT transmission. Pumps out 200 horsepower, 232 pound-feet of torque. It is front-wheel drive. It weighs in just over 3,200 pounds. You can expect 0 to 60 to be 6.2 seconds, and it also has a fuel capacity of 10.6 gallons. You can expect to see around 50 miles per gallon in the city and 47 out on the highway. Now this also has a wheelbase of 107.7 inches. Its overall length is 184.4. It has a width of 70.9, a height of 57.7, and its ground clearance measures in at 5.4 inches. Now as we move on to the exterior styling, this has a pretty simple front end design, but everything is functional. You'll notice there's parking sensors located throughout. There's also a small upper section of this grille here, finished off in gloss black, and then you have even more cutouts for the lower section of the grille there. There's also some LEDs for the lighting with a nice dark housing to match the rest of the trim accents. And you'll notice too, there's some functional vents on the edges of the bumper there just to provide better airflow. And then some very subtle lines coming down the hood as well. Working our way to the side, this model has a two-tone design for these wheels. Very nice design, especially paired with this exterior gray. You'll notice too, gloss black for the side mirrors, which also have a turn signal, and there's a few aerodynamic fins in the lower section of that pillar there. There's also black for the window trim. This does get a sunroof up top. And then some nice crisp lines flowing down the side, especially at the height of the door handles there, working in their way all the way back to the LEDs here. Now you'll notice there's a backup camera, all the parking sensors as well, and this also features remote start, so you can use the key fob to activate that. You can also use the key fob to release the trunk or just use the control up underneath. Now for this Civic sedan, you have a good bit of storage. There's also a little bit of hidden storage underneath the floor if you need to use that for any reason. And of course, you can fold down the back seats. So just pull on the tabs on both sides, and folding those down will give you a lot more interior space. So this is a very practical sedan for its sizing. And then you have one grab handle on that right side. Now, as we work our way to the interior, door panel's pretty simple, but you have your window control, your release, some really neat trim accents, a little bit of storage down below your speaker, and another trim accent here, along with some soft touch materials for the armrest. And then as we look at these seats, really nice design. And as you can tell, they fold pretty much flat there. And you have this large opening to place in items as well. And then at 5'10", I can easily hop in. Now you don't have any auxiliaries in the middle or vents. You do have one storage pocket there. Small bulge in the center, but it's really not that intrusive. And at my height, I have maybe ½ inch or so of headroom. I'm almost touching the top there, but I can sit upright and be comfortable. So a lot of people use these on a daily basis. They have passengers in the back. Maybe you're doing a ride share or something like that. You can have full-size adults in the back and you can ride around town. Now there's also the armrest. You have two different size cup holders, which is interesting to see. And then you also have those small cargo windows, so that way you have better visibility around that pillar. Now as we work our way up front, for the door panel, you have all of your window controls, side mirror adjustments. You also have a trunk release, more storage in the lower section, and the same trim accents. And then same design for the front seats. They are automatic, so you have those controls down on the side. And then this particular model also has all-weather floor mats. Hey everyone, so today's video is brought to you by LastFit. You can install a set of all-weather floor mats from LastFit for your particular Honda. These are really going to add a lot more coverage for your particular vehicle, for your front row, second row, cargo space, and third row when applicable. These all-weather floor mats are very easy to install. They're also easy to remove to keep clean and are much easier to clean than the factory carpets. They also provide a lip around the edges to give you even more protection, so there's less to clean around the footwells of your vehicle. So be sure to take a look at the link down in the description below where you can get a set of all-weather floor mats for your particular Honda using the promo code as well, so you can save on a set of floor mats. I've always used the LastFit liners in my particular vehicle, and it definitely makes a huge improvement over the factory carpeting in keeping your vehicle clean. So definitely get a set for your own vehicle. And then hopping into the interior now, we have a solid leather steering wheel, and the start button's located over on the right side. So with my foot on the brake, we can bring this to life, where with the rest of the controls on the steering wheel, there's paddle shifters on both sides. You have your volume tuning, voice commands, and a rotary dial here. And then on the right side, you have all the cruise control settings along with distance pacing, your steering assist, and then a few controls in the middle. Now for the large digital gauge cluster, you will notice on the far left side, you do have some battery information, and on the right side, there is fuel. Now with the rest of this gauge cluster, you can use the control on the left side of the steering wheel to further go through all of this information. So you can look at your phone, your audio, you have Bluetooth, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and you can even customize your display as well. So you can go to a few of these settings. Now if you use the rotary dial on the right side, this is where you can scroll through some vitals for the vehicle. So you can look at all of those on that right side and pull those up depending on what you'd like to see, and even customize too with your gauge design. So you can decide how you want to view this information and have it shown just like that. So neat that you have this much configurabilities with this model here, and it's very easy to be able to go through and set up as well. Now over on the left side, you'll notice there's traction control along with a dimmer switch. You have one air vent. This also features Bose for the audio. And then for the infotainment system, which currently has a screen protector on it, this would be removed for the buyer, of course. But you have some physical buttons on this left side, like home, your audio, and tuning. And then you can easily get into Google Maps. You can go back to home, get into your phone, hook up your phone with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You have vehicle settings that you can go into. So you have your TPMS, your door setup, you can get into your lighting, your key access too. And then you have power flow, so where the power is being sent. You can get into your displays, your Honda link as well. It's actually quite a lot of information for this infotainment system. Now you'll notice there's more air vents with that trim accent that goes all the way to the passenger side. And then right in the middle, super simple to go through the climates. You have fan speed, temperature, where you'd like the air to go, defrosters, heated seats as well. And then there's auxiliaries with wireless charging. You have two cup holders. And then if we bring up the backup camera, you do have a few different angles, just depending on how you would like to view that. There's also drive and then back to park. Now there's also a few different driving modes. So there's eco, normal, sport, and individual. Individual is customizable, and you can gain access to that in the infotainment system. Now there's also the e-brake with auto hold. You get a good bit of storage in the armrest along with a glove box. Up top, there's your rear view mirror. There's also dome lights, a sunglass holder, and then controls for the sunroof. Sunshade is manually adjusting. And then a look at visibility from the driver's seat. It's pretty easy to see over both shoulders. So you have a lot of glass for this smaller car. So as we sat up behind the wheel for the Honda Civic now, this is definitely an incredibly popular sedan from Honda, and I can see why. It is fairly basic for the tech features that it has, but I don't mean that in a bad way. A lot of vehicles today have so many different bells and whistles. If you just want a simple vehicle, something reliable, something to get you to point A to point B, and you still have options that you can go through, it's definitely a great option without being too confusing. Everything's laid out well, and it definitely gives you a lot. Now with this hybrid as well, you are going to get even more fuel efficiency. So if you're doing a ton of driving, this is a vehicle that you really won't have to fill up often because of the MPG and the range that you have, along with the different driving modes. Now what's really cool with this hybrid too is it's not a plug-in hybrid, so you don't have a full EV range, but it will utilize the EV range at slower speeds. So right now at speed, it's kind of going to be acting in the background, but if you're doing parking lot speeds, maybe you're in stop and go traffic, it will use that EV system at very slow speeds. So you can't control it necessarily, but it's in the background there. And you also have the paddle shifters for the regen braking, which is nice. So as I let off the accelerator, we're kind of coasting right now, but if I push on the negative paddle, we're going to start to slow down. Now it's probably not going to bring us to a complete stop, but you can use that in a sense as one pedal driving and then use the brake, of course, when you need to do that. So let's put it into sport mode now, just give it a minor acceleration. We don't have a ton of power, but especially with that hybrid assistance, we're up to speed just like that with a minor acceleration. So this definitely has a good bit of power to it for this style sedan, and you won't have to worry about it being underpowered by any means. As far as driving it now, putting a few miles on it, it is very comfortable. For more of an economy vehicle, especially for its price tag, it sits very nice. You ride, it's quiet, it's just a nice place to be. At 5'10", I have maybe an inch or so of headroom, but the seat can go down more. So you could be much taller than me and still fit comfortably in this sedan, which is great to see. This is a vehicle that a lot of people use for ride shares and things like that, from what I have seen too. So it's a perfect vehicle for extra jobs. If you need to do something like that, you can save on fuel and get paid a little bit of extra, which would be nice. And it's also very maneuverable too. So you're doing a lot of city driving, things like that, picking up people, whatever it may be. For this smaller road here, this turning radius is very good. So even on a small street like this, it's super easy to maneuver. It's very easy to see all around. And then we can get back up to speed here. Very quiet as well. As you would expect for a sedan like this, it's not going to be loud. Maybe a little bit of road noise here and there, just depending on the road. But in general, this is a vehicle that a lot of people rack up miles on, and it's just going to be a great commuter vehicle for your everyday needs. And with a minor acceleration again, here we go. And we're easily able to get up to speed. So this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the Honda Civic. We have a really nice new generation here with some nice materials. You do have several options that you can go with, of course, different trim levels. You don't have to go with the hybrid, just depending on what your needs are and what your budget is with what you would like to spend. But for this model here, basically at the top, almost the top trim level here, we have a very nice materials. There's some plastic, but there's some soft touch materials that cover some of it, just to give it a little bit more of an upscale look, but you will expect to see plastics for the interior. And not to bash on it, a lot of vehicles even more expensive than this will have plastic on the interior. It's just the car industry and what vehicles have, but in general, it's a very nice interior. Very simple, but straightforward and easy to use. And hopefully you can hear that EV system humming in the background when we came to a stop there. So like I mentioned earlier, it works in the background. I used to own a plug-in hybrid, and I'm not a huge fan of having to charge it, plug it in all of the time. I now own a vehicle that is a hybrid, kind of similar to this, and I like it acting in the background. It's one less thing that you have to worry about trying to plug it in every day, and you still get those benefits. Now, you won't be able to do EV, at 26 miles an hour here like a plug-in hybrid would, but it's really nice technology with that extra assistance, a little bit extra power. Definitely a great option to go with, and a vehicle that you could own for years. Going to be very easy to maintain, keep on the road, and really rack up the miles. But that is going to wrap it up for the 2026 Honda Civic. Once again, huge shout out to Flo Honda Statesville for providing this for me today. Take a look at their website, give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.